Morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Razor. Got another shave today, and I'm back. Yes, I'm back. I'm sore, but I'm back. And today we're going to be using Stirling's Autumn Glory. I felt like a walk through the woods because I really can't walk too much, but hey, it's just things that bring you out. Yeah, you got that fresh, loamy kind of a. If you ever been in the fall, walking through all the leaves are falling down in the woods, and it's kind of a wet, damp, loamy smell, but you got that kind of a crispiness, and you can smell the pine, in the background, wafting around because there's not much wind, and you can just smell the balsa and the white pine and all the resin that's coming out of them. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Harkens back to a nice younger days when I wasn't in pain. Yeah. Woo! Okay. It's not the drugs because I gave up the drugs. All right, so then we're going to be using the first use, the Astra blades. Green, go with the pine. Hey, what I can say? With the Merkur 34C. All right. This is my first shave since, I think it was April 1st. With a DE razor. I've been showering, shaving in the shower, but I got a shower chair. I just sit in there and I shave, and it's like, so this is one of the first times I've been standing for a while, and I'm starting to feel it. Yeah, feel the pain. It's not in my legs though. That's the good thing. Today's going to be story day about my time in the hospital and recovery. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, all the fun that went with it. And it was like, you seen, was it last Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. Those days it was like coming out of the hospital. I remember doing the video, and then it took me a while to upload it and actually edit and everything, get it up there. That took hours. Let me tell you, it took hours for me to do that. Just to focus enough to do it. Because the crap they put me on left me a brain dead idiot. Let me just say that much. I was a vegetable. Yeah. How the hell did that happen? Big old blob of soap all over the counter. And I've been, let's just say, since Sunday? Yeah, I think it was Sunday. I gave up the Oxy. And like, this shit's got to go. And it's like, and this is Thursday. So I'll probably try to upload this today, Thursday itself. I don't know what time I'll get it done, but it'll get up. Because I want to have a Thursday video go out sometime on Thursday for you guys. So, what did I say? What the hell am I doing here? Down. So, yeah, I went into the hospital. It was, what happened, it's like I was telling everybody I was supposed to have my operation on the 10th, which would have been yesterday. I would have been in the hospital right now over the weekend and everything. So, but the doctor's office called me up and said, "Can you come in tomorrow?" Like, yeah, I can. Like, we got an opening in the schedule. Somebody dropped out. I don't know if that means they dropped out, that, or they just, due to all the pre-op checks and everything, they failed and they had to wait, get pushed back down the line, so they had an opening. So my voice, you can still hear it, is kind of jacked up, but part of that's the phlegm ball. So I was like, yeah, I can come in. And I told my wife, I got surgery tomorrow morning at the surgery's at 11. I had to be in there before 9 a.m., which is fine because then they're able to shower. They gave me this, it's still sitting in the shower. Okay. They gave me this antiseptic shampoo, or not shampoo, but body wash kind of crap. Burns like freaking hell too. I'm on fire, Ricky, man, I'm on fire. When I put that stuff on, I was like, whoa, hello. But it's supposed to disinfect you. Use it the night before and that day, and so I used it twice. So, which is all right. So I went in, did all my pre-op stuff, and I was like, okay, you're good to go. You're still alive, which means you can have your operation. Oh, okay. So I was like sitting around, and I had to take like 3 trips to the bathroom while I was waiting in the waiting area where they had me sitting on the thing and with your ass hanging out. And all you had is that little gown that ties in the back. And so I did that a few times. They had me on the IV. You can still see. It's like I look like I hugged a freaking porcupine. It's like you can still see like all the holes and stuff they had in me. Like everything was looked like a freaking hooked up to a Christmas tree, you know. And pumping me full of stuff. And one of the things, like when they's like, all right, we're gonna hit you with an antibiotic right now. It's like this big freaking syringe. They came with 2 big massive syringes. I'm like, what the hell that? Well, one's saline, so we can clean out the port when it goes in, and the next would be antibiotic. And like, okay. And like, well, we don't want you to get any type of infection from when you're on it. Like, we're just taking lots of precaution with you because all your problems that you have, like, you know, one's being diabetic, you know, like, okay, got it. Like, felt like the whole arm was like holy shit. That's a lot of liquid you pumped into that freaking arm. So then finally said, all right, you're up. It's time the doc come in, and then the anesthesiologist come in, and they say, all right, we're about ready to take you in and everything, so everything should be fine. It'll be about 3 hours, possibly 4, depending on what kind of problems we run into. And with yours, there may be more, because, you know, we just don't see everything that we can see on the MRI. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And the anesthesiologist, well, you got anything that bothers? It's like, yeah, I got rhinitis. So my sinuses, cause they won't let me take my nasal spray since I've come into the hospital. They're like, oh, the doctor, the anesthesiologist, I got you squared away. And he comes in, and he comes with this big giant thing. He's like, sprays it up in there. It's like, well, whoa, oh man. And he's like, that clear things up. I'm like, wow, it kind of burns. It's like, yeah, it's a steroidal injection, and it also will dry everything out. So, well, you won't have any problems for the next 12 hours. And it's like, okay, not a problem. And they put that in there, and they rolled me in, and it's like, and I thought the waiting area where I was sitting in, I was like, I was under blankets, you know, just trying to stay warm, and my feet were starting to get cold. And it's like they put on another hot blanket on me, you know, that they pulled it out of the heater and put you on, and you're like, ooh, that's hot, ooh, comfy. And they rolled me back in, and it's like, as soon as we went into the hallway where the operating areas were, I was like, whoa, this is cold. And he says, yeah, it is cold. Just wait till you get into the operating room. And when I was like, is this 54 degrees in here? And one nurse looks over and says, yeah, you're right. How do you know? It's like, it's like a meteorologist type guy. And I go, okay. I was like, I know my temperatures. It's like very good. Most people don't get that. And it's like, yeah, the operating in a room at 54 freaking degrees. And it's like, and I said, is that to keep the blood flow down? It's like everything. It's like, yeah, good guess. So I'm sitting there, and and then they start hooking all the little doohickeys, you know, on your chest and everything, and monitor all your vitals. And they said, all right, we got you all hooked up. It's time to get to work. And it's like, okay. And they come over and they put the little thing on there. And it's like, I remember this when I was like 2.5. I was like, I know. It's like, they breathe in deep. And it's like, yeah. They said, this is not going to smell like candy. Is it? Like, no, what do you mean? It's like, well, they told me it was going to smell like candy when I was 2.5 when I got my tonsils out. And they go, you remember when you were 2.5? Yeah. And so they just like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah. The last thing I remember is like, yeah, it's working. Next thing you know, I'm waking up in the recovery room, and my throat was freaking on fire. It hurt like a son of a bitch. It was dry. They had me laying down with, it's like they had like a wedge thing underneath my knees. So I was like I was sitting in a chair, but on my back. And they had me hooked up to all this stuff, and you hear the beep, beep. And I remember the one nurse said, I think he's coming out. And I looked at it like, how's the pain? It's like, can you wiggle your toes? And I'm like, you know what? That don't hurt. Wow, like wiggling my feet and everything, moving my feet, and he's like, that didn't hurt. Like, any pain in your legs? Like, no, I don't feel any pain. It's like, and it's like, where's it hurt? And it's like, my lower back. My lower back is on fire. And then I was like, and I said something about my dick hurts too. She's like, well, you got a catheter in. I was like, oh, okay, that explains a lot. All right, got it. I've had those in before. But they had me, that tube down my throat to help me breathe. And I swear, it was like when they pulled it out, it's like, you swear it was like, you know, like those corrugated tubes, you're like, if that's what kind of felt like what happened when they pulled it out, you know. I know it just slides out, but man, my whole throat was just sore as fuck. Almost have to remember how to shave. But yeah. So that's when I got out of, and then eventually they said, okay, you're stable enough. They had a vacuum thing hooked up to my back. My whole lower back, they had this double compression type thing on my back. It was like a rubber seal that just adheres to you. It's like practically glued to your body. And what it is that suction cup like thing on you. They glue that on there with the adhesive, and then it has a tube that comes out of it, and then it goes to this round like thing about yay big that when it's not compressed, it's about like that. And they would pop this little tube top thing, you know, like an air mattress thing, you know, or you know, like a beach thing, you know, beach ball, you pop the thing out and go, psst. They'd pop that open and they go, psst, and then they'd clack that thing back, and then it would create suction. And the whole reason I spent so much time in the hospital is that I have this 4-inch incision. Is like what they did, they opened you up and then flopped you open in the lower area for my L5, L4, and basically they screwed the L5 together. They took some piece out of my hip too, and some bone marrow, mixed that all together like a paste, screwed in, I think it was 3 screws together to hold that together, like that. And then they got 2 bars on both sides that go on both sides of my, and they screw into the L4 and my sacrum, and then they screw into the L5, and it basically locks that area together. So I got all these screws in me too. So when I first came into the area where I spent the next 3 days, and the nurse comes in, well, how you feeling? She was an older nurse. She was probably in her 50s, and I was like, not bad. I just got this feeling to just keep going. She's like, I get it. $6 million man. It's like, yep, I know. And she was hilarious. It's like we were just trading 70s and 80s and 90s movies references all the time that we were in the same place together. And I got these younger nurses that were, some of them were in their 20s. Kind of nice looking ones too. And they was like, oh, how you doing now, Russ? I was like, I'm doing pretty good. Doing good. Legs feeling good. But I'd make those, one of the times, they had me on insulin. Because, I couldn't take any of my drugs or anything. They had to supply everything. So they were giving me insulin like 3 times a day, which, to regulate my blood sugar. And one of the times she comes in there, it's like, time for your shot. And I was like, get into my belly. And the older nurse was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. And she just started laughing. It's like, gotta wait a second. It's like, I can't give you a shot yet because I'm afraid I'd laugh too much. And the younger nurse is like, I can do it. It's like, well, what's the problem? And she's like, all right, you do it. And I'm like, I pinch my stomach for them. And they go, and shoot me. And it was hilarious. I had some of these nurses just rolling all the time. It's like, hey, you gotta have fun. You gotta have humor in your life. It's like, life just sucks. You just gotta make it. And I said, it's like, you're pretty good in spirits. And I was like, well, I could be miserable or I could be happy. It's like, if you're happy and know that you're alive, enjoy life, you do better. You feel better. That's just the way I looked at it. And they go like, that's a good philosophy. I think, yeah. It's like, as much crap has happened in my life, you gotta laugh. I'm still laughing because I'm still alive. Of all the shit I've done and I'm still alive, I'm still doing good. So, yeah. So I ended up having to stay in for 3 days because I had to wait because it had to be, I think, under 20 milliliters of fluid coming out of me in an 8-hour period. Like the first 8 hours, I think they pulled out like 70 cc's. It's like they filled that sucker right up. They go, well, you're going to be here another day at least. And I'm like, yeah, I figured. Second day, I was down to like 45 or something like that. It's like, well, sorry, you're going to be here at least another day. And it's like, yeah, well, I figured as much. Yeah. And on the second day, they did pull the catheter out, and I was able to motor around. And boy, that hurt. Good God. Whew. Let me tell you, it still hurts. Still feel it. I feel like pulling out a barbed hook right out the old tube. You're like, whoa, it burns. What do I got? Gonorrhea or syphilis? Damn. I suppose that's what it feels like. Yeah, so that wasn't the fun part, but second day after they pulled out the catheter, the physical therapist and crew showed up, and he's like, well, we're here to assess and see if you're able to motor around. And it's like, I just got done going to the can, walked over there. They had me on a walker, a little push walker, type thing, just to make sure I could steady myself, which I was still kind of wobbly. But for the longest time, since September, I've been in 9, 10 pain levels with my legs, from my back down to my legs. And that was gone, totally gone. Oh, one of the other things they put in is like, they took a shim, like about the size of this head of that, and they shoved it up there and jacked up it's like, here's the L5, and they put a shim in there and jack it like that, get it back to line up again. So they had that in there. And I was like, and that took care of a lot of it was like the leg pain I was suffering, that was gone. And It's like right now, the only thing that's hurting me is my back, right where the incision areas where all the pins and everything are in it. It's one of those things where equivalent of having a broken bone in your back kind of thing would be the best way to equate it to. So the physical therapist and crew came around there. Kind of like, we're going to assess how you can walk. It's like, can you get around with the walker? He's like, do you have any? He's like, I'm doing good. I was like, it was like a couple laps around the small little area in the ward where I was at, and I said, can we go farther? And this physical therapist is like, you want to go farther? Like, yeah, let's take a spin around the hospital a little bit. And she's like, oh yeah, okay. I was like, we don't have this ever happen. Most people are like, oh, it hurts so bad. I'm like, fuck this, let's do it. Come on. And it's like, and while I was doing it, as I told my story about when I broke my back the first time, and it's like, I appreciate walking. It's like, you don't know how much you like to walk until you lose it, and you want to get it back. And I was like, I'm gonna push myself. And it's like, it's not gonna be a problem for me to want to walk every day or several times or 3 times a day just to get it back. So I took the spin around the block, of the hospital, and people are like looking at me like, ooh, doo, 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 doo. And I get to she's like, stop right here. Okay. It was the stairwell. It was like, we're going to see if you can walk the stairs. I'm like, I'm game. I'll try it. It's like, I got stairs at home, it's like everything I do, most of it's downstairs anyway. I just want to see if I can do this and see how long it's going to take me to use the stairs. And I got on the stairs, I was using the railing. He's like, you need us to hold you or anything? Or I was like, oh, let me just try it by myself. Just stand there next to me, that's fine. I'm like going up step, step. Pretty soon I'm like step, all the way to the top. Went up a whole flight of stairs, and I was like, do we need to go more up? And she was like, we've never had anybody come out of surgery that did this. They're like, you're doing good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling good. And maybe it's the painkillers at the time, but like, because they had me on every 4 hours taking 2 10-milligram oxycodone, at the time, which kind of left me like, where if I wasn't doing anything, I was passed out. I just couldn't get much accomplished. I brought some books with me. I was like, I'm just going to read while I'm in the hospital. I couldn't even read. I was a vegetable. But I'm like, yeah, you're good. You did the stairs. How about going down? It's like, down the stairs, not a problem. And the only problem is I wasn't getting much sleep. Because every 4 hours they gave me the oxy. 2 pills of oxy, and every 8 hours I got some muscle relaxer. Diazepam or something like that. And it didn't allow me any time to sleep. There was one time, the one night nurse, she came in, and it's supposed to be my, she gave me the pills, and I was still awake. I think I stayed awake for maybe a half an hour, somewhere in there, before I passed out, about midnight. And she come in, and she said, I came in at the 4-hour mark when I was supposed to give you your pills, and you were snoring, and it says, I didn't want to wake you up. It's like, you needed to sleep. It's like, we weren't getting enough sleep. I remember you complaining you weren't sleeping very well. Like, okay. So I got a little over 4.5, I think, at that time. Talk about weird dreaming too, man. But it was all right. Then they finally, Thursday afternoon, drainage was enough, and they said, yeah, we're going to release you. You can go home now. And they gave me a month's supply of every 4 hours of 2 pills of oxy, diazepam, you know, every 3 hours. And I just remember I'd take the stuff and I go to sit at my computer to do a little bit of look at stuff, and going back to talking about, I made the video, how long it took me forever. I'd sit there and start doing stuff, and next thing you're like, poof, and I'd wake up and the whole front of my shirt would just be covered in drool. And I was like, after about the second day, it's like, it's basically said, the hell with this. I'm done with it. I'm gonna see what it's like without it for a day or two. And I realized that the pain levels I was under was less than was before I hurt my back hurt again back in September. I'm like, this is normal pain levels I was used living with. But I'm not going to use it. I can live without it. And let me tell you, people talk about getting addicted to that stuff. I started going through withdrawal on. I was going to do a video on Tuesday, Wednesday, but both days I was like, right now I'm breaking out into a sweat right now because I still think I'm going with withdrawal of it because I feel it's like I'm like, whew, you know how you break into sweats. But those 2 days I was like hands were shaky, sweaty. I was like you have a bad case of the flu, but it's like no temperature to go with it, and you're like, this is withdrawal, isn't it? So I'm glad I got off that crap. Holy moly. Okay. Oh, there's the a-hole with this freaking Harley. Like I'd be trying to take a nap. I'd just be so tired. He'd come up to the freaking stop sign out here. You know, because he has straight pipes. There is no muffler on the freaking thing. And you just sit there for a minute or two, and then he'd take off going, and you're like, I'm awake now. Thanks a lot, asshole. You're just some dumbass that will come back from the bar at 2 a.m. when you're laying in bed and the windows are freaking rattling because he's just like coming up the hill. Like, dickhead. Okay, now this is the hard part. I can't bend at the back, so I gotta kind of squat down here. All right. Whew. That's the hard part. But pain levels right now are probably about a 5, somewhere in there, 7 out. And then that's just the incision area. As my wife says, you're a bigger ass than you used to be. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, your ass crack's about that much bigger. Like, oh, okay. Got it. Humor. All right. Funny. It looks, instead of putting staples or anything, they glued me together. They just like put everything in and they used glue and butted it up. So I got kind of a ridge line that goes through there. All right, so we got, yes, there still is an affiliate link. Man, I haven't said that in a while. There's an affiliate link to the razor company. Going to be down below. All right, we got Stirling's Autumn Glory Aftershave. It smells good. You get that pininess coming out. You get that loam, pine, fresh leaves, a little more kind of smell coming across. Pine. I like that pine scent. Almost God, it smells like a Douglas fir or a yeah, something like that. Yep. Autumn Glory. Okay, that's the shave of the day, everybody. Brought to you by Stirling's Autumn Glory. So it's still going to be about one shave a week for a while. So, yeah, it's like until I start feeling better about it. So we'll just go that route. All right, so that was the first use of the Astra blades with the Merkur 34C. Excellent combination. Nice, smooth shave. Yep. Which reminds me, a little lotion on the face here. Don't feel too much burning. There we go. That should help. 10 days without a DE shave. There's going to be a little bit of irritation, but not much. All right, so that's the shave, everybody. Hope you guys like it. Like it, subscribe, share with friends, and we'll see you next one. Rusty out.